screenwriter Yolandi Boita is joining me in studio. Now, she has just come back from the Durban International Film Festival, where she showed her very first short feature film. Hello.
Hi, Jane.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
Now, the last time you were here, you were telling me about Lena and Leo, but the movie hadn't been finished yet. Now, I actually went to the screening, and it was fantastic, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What's the reception been like to the movie?
Yeah, it's been cool. I attended one screening at the Durban Film Festival, and yeah, people laugh at the funniest parts, which is always interesting.
Yeah.
They say that you're not a filmmaker until you've watched your film in a cinema with an audience. Quite nerve-wracking, but it's been good. Yeah,
I can imagine. Now, the story's a little bit offbeat. What's the general reaction been like to that? It's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, people that I have spoken to, yes, they agree. It's quite odd, and you know, there's surrealism in the film and the dark humor. But people have actually, it's more normal to people than I thought they would receive it as.
Yeah.
But no, it's been cool. It's really been great. It's showing. It's been accepted into the Cape Town and Winelands Film Festival.
Oh, that's great.
So that's going to be in Cape Town, which luckily so many Cape Townians have been asking me when they can see it.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming up end of August. So I'm screening there, and hopefully Schnitt. Whole thumbs for that. Yeah.
Now, you were just at the festival. What does having an international film festival here in South Africa, in Durban, mean for our film industry? Is it something that kind of holds us together? Is it important to have here?
Absolutely. I think that, especially seeing the caliber of speakers that come to the Durban Film Mart, that is just proof that South Africa is actually being taken seriously on a world stage. And absolutely, it's an opportunity for local filmmakers to get their films exposed to international producers, financiers, etc. In my experience going to Miami earlier this year, there you're a foreigner and you're an outsider, and my feeling at Durban's film festival is that whoever is there is just naturally more open to local content.
Yeah.
Pan-African content kept coming up, that word, and what does that mean? And
what does that mean?
Well, it just basically, people were asking, okay, does Pan-African content mean it has to be classical African stories, or and everyone's response that was whoever was asked said that everyone is looking for good stories.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether it comes from a traditional African culture or etc. It's just people are looking for good content, good stories, well made. So. No, Durban, yeah, it was great. It's a good platform, and you just get exposed to so many international people.
Yeah.
The Berlinale representatives were there, huge festival. Toronto, I met someone from Sundance.
Wow.
So you really feel like you're getting like a little foot in the door, which is great.
Now we know what the film festival is, but what's Durban Film Mart?
Film Mart. So the Film Mart, basically the two work together. The Durban Film Festival is traditionally all the films being screened, all right? So for about, I think it's 10 days, just back-to-back screenings of films. And the Durban Film Mart is seminars and meetings and all sorts of roundtable sessions, etc. That it obviously gets curated, but it can be topics from co-productions with Canada to Triggerfish have announced their latest project called Story Lab.
Yeah.
Yes. So they, the wonderful Anthony Silverton gave a great workshop on characters, character writing, and how to improve your scripts for animation films. And so you just get bombarded with so much information. It's wonderful. Yeah, it's great.
Tell me about what it's like to have your first short feature film out there. Is it like having your first child and letting it into the world?
Well, I guess so. I think, it's film production, it takes so long that once the screenings come, you've been sitting with this baby for so long. So yes, it's great, but it's not as new to everybody else, if you know what I mean. You've you know every single little moment in that film. But yeah, showing it with an audience, I mean, that's why we make films, not to watch it in our own lounges, you know. So it is a good feeling. It is a good feeling. And then hearing an audience react and, you know, it's a good feeling.
Now, are you working on any upcoming projects?
I am busy with a feature script. I'll call it The F Word for now. Very kind of sexy, quirky comedy. So I'm busy with the script for that at the moment, and I'm looking at different partners to collaborate with. What else am I working on? And then, yeah, branded content. The brand that I launched in the beginning of the year, the Brave Cartel. I'm working on a few little films for brands. One especially for Ikapa Dance School, brilliant school that's basically uplifting kids through dance. So I'm looking for brands to finance that and you know, create just awesome content. So those are the two things. What else?
Tell me about the Brave Cartel.
So the Brave Cartel, it's just my way of being able to collaborate with whoever I really want to work with. It can be production companies, ad agencies, brands, creative people. Essentially, it's coming up with awesome ideas for branded content, which brands need these days. You know, it's advertising has, you know, a lot of people have become a bit weary of traditional advertising. So branded content has really become the flavor of the month at the moment. And yeah, that's the way for me to combine my advertising experience with my filmmaking. So yeah.